Hi, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have a review of the Beats Studio Buds Plus. Let's get started. These headphones are priced at 3,299 pesos in Mexico. On the screen you see the reference price in dollars, so you have more or less an idea. But remember that the prices here are not the same as there. The truth of the matter is that they are not very economical headphones, and considering this price, one has certain expectations based on other headphones I have tried. So let's see what this brand, which as you know belongs to Apple, has to offer. So in the price, they also include 3 free months of Apple Music in case you are a new user. But join me to talk about its design. Notice that in this case I got my hands on the transparent color edition. It is also available in ivory color and in a combination of black with gold. However, the one that looks much more attractive and technological is this transparent edition. In this case, the case is quite compact. As you can see, it practically fits in the palm of your hand. In this case, it comes with a button for easy re-engagement, but from the inside. In addition, it also has an LED, in this case on the outside, very tiny, to help you indicate the current status of the headphones, and they have a USB-C port for charging but no wireless charging, and that's one of the first absences you start to notice. Definitely that in headphones of this price we would expect them to have wireless charging. But the case has a weight of 49 grams, which is not really relevant. Generally in headphones of this style we are not going to notice something heavy or uncomfortable. But before I go on to talk about the earbuds themselves, let me show you the level of magnetic absorption that the case has, so you can see that before you get to drop the earbuds, it's going to close this case. So there is little chance that they will fall out. Regarding the comfort of removing and putting these headphones in their case, I have to tell you that it can be a little bit awkward trying to hold them because the surface is a little bit small. So you simply have to get used to pressing hard to prevent these earbuds from ever falling out. Like all the Beats, now these are earbuds with a closed design. They have these ear cushions to get passive noise cancellation. In this case, something that is positive is that in the box they include you 4 different sizes of ear cushions, but they do not have any tool or assistant to help you decide which would be the best option of ear cushion, unlike the vast majority of manufacturers that through their application do offer you that level of assistance. These earbuds weigh in at 5 grams each. Like all Beats, they come with gold-plated pins that are where they will receive power when you store them in their case. And the design is peculiar because a straight area protrudes that will be where we are going to find the controls and the brand logo. Around the headphones you also find several perforations, some of them for microphones, others for pressure relief. The design is good, but I must tell you that in this case they do not incorporate a sensor to pause or resume your playback when you put on or take off the headphones. That's another aspect that in this price range is usual, but we don't find it here. In addition, its water resistance level is IPX4. This means that you can use them when you are exercising or something like that, but if they fall into the water, they have little chance of surviving. And finally, if you happen to drop one of these headphones, luckily you can find them through a map. And I forgot to tell you that even though they are Apple branded headphones, they do work well with Android, even showing you on the map the last time they were connected. Remember that they don't have GPS or anything like that, so you don't have the exact location but the last time a connection was detected. And note that in this case, when I have the headphones on in my situation, we're going to find good comfort. I don't perceive that they're loosening up or they're constantly falling out. Notice that even if I move my head or move my whole face around here, it's very difficult for them to fall out. Here I finally got the first hearing aid to fall out, but I practically pushed my ear to provoke it. Although remember that this will depend a lot on the shape of the ear of each person, but most hearing aids usually have a good fit in my case. There are a few exceptions that constantly fall out, so I don't see a downside here. Let's move on to the controls. It's something that I find a little strange because it gives me the feeling of being a low-end control, since in this case a button is integrated that you're going to press, and obviously every time you press it, it produces some pressure on your ear as well, so it's a little bit unpleasant. Fortunately, the click does not make too much noise like other headphones that when you press them emit a very annoying click, but even so it still gives me the feeling of being very simple controls for what these headphones cost. With one press, we will be able to play or pause the content. The advantage of it being a physical button is that it will not activate accidentally when you are trying to adjust the headphone. However, due to its design, I would have liked it to have the pinch gesture, but it is something we don't see available here. With 2 taps, we can go to the next song, and with 3 taps, we can go to the previous song. If you have an incoming call, with 1 tap you can answer that call, and interestingly, while you're on the call, you could turn off your microphone with 1 tap. That's a feature that I found very useful and one that I haven't seen on other headsets so far. So, it's one of the few points that stood out to me in a positive way on these headsets. To hang up the call, just double tap and that's it. And having a long touch, we are going to be able to have control of the noise. That is, we can switch from noise cancellation mode to ambient mode, or through the application we can select which modes we will have available, as you could also disable the cancellation and ambient mode to have a passive mode completely. And in this case, for the long touch, you can select a different behavior of the left earphone with the right earphone. By default, there is no way to control the volume, and it is definitely something that is missed because these are relatively expensive headphones. However, you can opt to disable the noise control to give you the benefit of volume control by holding down on the left earphone and the right earphone. But as you can see, there is little versatility in the controls. However, if you use an iPhone, you gain a lot of versatility because it supports the Hey Siri command. So even if the iPhone is far away, you can through these voice commands go to the next song, turn down the volume, turn up the volume, or request any other type of information to Siri directly from the hearing aids, which is very positive. Regarding the sound quality, the feeling has been very simple. I don't find them to sound according to the price they cost. They don't sound bad, but I would definitely have liked to see something more advanced, especially with respect to codecs. In this case, it supports only the AC codec and obviously the more basic SBC codec. But even connected to an iPhone, it doesn't bring the support for the lossless audio codec that Apple handles in other products. So, although with the AAC codec we could achieve audio with a good level of resolution, I don't really perceive the audio as clear or with as much quality as I have noticed in other headphones. Obviously, this will also depend on the perception of each person, but I have tried many headphones and these do not seem to sound as spectacular or something similar. The manufacturer doesn't provide much information regarding the size of the driver or the frequency range it emits, so that also gives me to understand that they don't want to reveal too much information about this. Also, through their app, you don't have any equalizer to try to improve or change the style of the sound, and if you connect it to an iPhone, you don't need to use a configuration app, but within the Bluetooth configuration itself, you can access its settings and there is no equalizer present. The equalizer in this case will depend on the music application. For example, Apple Music may have an equalizer, but it is not a general equalization of the headphones. So it seems to me that it is not giving me what I expected from a device of this price. With respect to noise cancellation, I did not notice anything so spectacular either. Honestly, it seems to me a very simple noise cancellation that we could find in much cheaper headphones, so they do not excel in these aspects. The headphones have several microphones around. The manufacturer doesn't specifically communicate the amount, and since some microphones will be used for noise cancellation and even other perforations are to help with pressure, I couldn't tell you the exact number of microphones it has, but it should work fine. Through the app, you can choose which earpiece you want to be used when you are making a call. Then I dare to think that some might set, for example, the left earpiece as a microphone and remove the earpiece to be able to make the call more clearly in two noisy environments. But let's try to do a test of how these microphones would sound in a normal environment and in a noisy environment.
Este es un audio grabado con los micrófonos de estos audífonos en un ambiente silencioso.
Now I want you to listen to the ambient audio so that you more or less get an idea of the amount of noise around me.
Ahora estás escuchando un audio grabado con estos audífonos en un ambiente considerablemente ruidoso.
Obviously, since the microphones are relatively far away from your mouth, it can get a little tricky to pick up your voice. Surely if you have an iPhone, it will have more noise cancellation technologies and more advanced, but if you had planned to use them on Android, I think they are not going to give you a very good quality when answering a call directly with these microphones. Now let's talk about the battery, which to be honest, in my case, is not that relevant because I don't usually use the headphones for such a long time. But before I talk about the figures, let me tell you that through the application, you can see the percentage of battery remaining. In fact, if you have an iPhone, you could also take a look at the battery from some special widget. And in the case of Android also, if you enable the notifications permission when you just connect the headphones, the battery status appears in the notification. So I think it is very easy to know when you need to charge your headphones. Individually, without noise cancellation, they could give you about 9 hours or so of playback, which I think is plenty of time. And if you consider the case, they would give you 36 hours according to official figures, which are obviously always tested at an intermediate volume. If you listen to the music very loudly, the time will be reduced, and with noise cancellation individually give you 6 hours of playback, and considering the case, this is increased to 24 hours. I insist that I think it is enough time in this aspect. We will not find something to complain about. The only thing I am going to mention is that they don't have wireless charging. Although fortunately, if they have fast charging, so with 5 minutes that you connect them to charge when they already have very little battery, Apple promises an hour of playback. So I think they are good enough in these aspects. Finally, let's go to the connectivity issue, because in this case, I had an interesting surprise. Obviously, if you have an iPhone, just open the box and they will be detected immediately to initiate a simple pairing. But I didn't expect that they also integrate Google Fast Pair. So if you have an Android, it's exactly the same. You open the case and the device should recognize them for easy pairing. They are also linked to your Google account. So if you have other Google products like a Chromebook, you could also be connected to 2 devices at the same time and have these kinds of advanced features. What they do not integrate is Microsoft Swift Pair. So to link you to a Windows laptop, the process is a little longer. But anyway, if you can get to link. In this case, the manufacturer does not provide information on which version of Bluetooth is used, but they point out that they use Bluetooth Class 1. That is to say that they have the longest range possible within their version, but we do not know which version they have. Even so, I was testing them and they do not cut off so easily, so I like this aspect. Finally, let's go to the latency tests. First, we are going to test on an iPhone and then on a high-end Android device. Although the latency on Android could vary a lot depending on which device you're using, but let's get to the testing. Fortunately, in the latency, we see a good behavior, although obviously we are still not at the same level of what we would find with wired headphones. For the moment, this has been all for this video. Let me know what you think of these headphones. Personally, I find them to be a bit more expensive than they should be, probably because of branding issues and that they are from Apple. But you let me know absolutely all your opinion in the comments. For the moment, we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can let me know, and we'll see you next time.